Swalla la la, drink. Swalla la la, swalla la la. Freaky, freaky, yeah. My freaky, freaky, yeah. Shimmy, 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 yeah, shimmy, yeah. Bad girls gon' swalla la la. Bust down on my wrist and it beer. My pinky ring bigger than this. Matter how I'm Beverly Hills. Dollar got too many girls. Matter how I'm Beverly Hills. All she wears red bottom heels. When she back it up, put it on the top. When she drop it low, put it on the ground. DJ pop it, she gon' swallow that. Champagne pop it, she gon' swallow that. All you girls in here, if you're feeling thirsty, come on, take a sip. Cause you know what I'm serving. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah.
This is SVG.
Voice of the Man Bongo Prime representing for Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And good morning to everyone. We are back with you for another Activated Mornings program here on WEFM. Before we could even say morning properly, look, we already have a call. All right, let's take the call. Joshua, morning to you.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Your regional news caught my attention this morning.
Because Bermuda was mentioned?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the interesting thing is 3 years ago on this date, I was at the airport. Our friend Kingsley was supposed to pick me up because this was an arranged pickup. But I was detained and harassed by the Black Squad because I was a person of interest. So because he's such a popular person, he left me. And when I eventually got out, maybe about an hour or so later, his nephew picked me up. And he was quite a pleasant person. He wanted to know, sir, who are you? What did you do? I mean, there were guys out there betting that the Black Squad was going to have you face down on the floor. Now, I'm not going to go into that, but anyway, I almost met Kingsley. A word of caution for Vincentians coming to Bermuda, whether you come by cruise ship or as crew or passenger, do not, under no circumstances at all, bring anything in for anybody, because we are going to keep you here. The reason I became a person of interest in St. Vincent is that a few years ago, a Vincentian came in, and I reached out to that person. And you know, they gave me free access to visit him in prison once a week. They did not even take my cell phone. Next thing I know, they were actually investigating me in St. Vincent for dealing with the underworld. So when I showed up that day, you know, that's when they had the thing. Like, there were 6 guys there with mean-looking guns and everything, and I didn't do anything. They eventually released me, yeah, and that's when I almost met Kingsley. Of course, Kingsley would never tell this story on radio. But I just want to caution my people out there, please do not. We are friendly people here, you ladies. If you come here, we would be friendly, but there's some very, very criminally minded persons who would groom you. And then they would say, well, listen, I've got a maid coming in with a little package. I'll give you $5,000 to bring it for me. That's a lot of money. I'm talking US currency here. It happens, not just now and then. So be very careful who you befriend. Even you come to Bermuda and you meet Joshua, be careful with Joshua. Don't bring a package to Bermuda for Joshua, because we're watching you. And as I said, just a word of caution. 3 years ago today, I was in St. Vincent being harassed by your Black Squad. And sorry, ladies, on the behalf of my dear wife, I want to thank everybody who sent birthday greetings. We had an awesome time. I'm telling you, man, out of this world. Unfortunately, she got back to work this morning and leave me home.
Absence, Joshua, absence. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Your heart growing fonder.
Why you guys always laugh at me?
Because you're an amusing fellow.
You know, I do not believe this absence make the heart go fonder stuff. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
Absence makes
you realize I
heart
say it on
wonder.
your side, right? For you, is absence make the heart grow fonder. You'll must be saying, oh gosh, thanks for the break.
Well, she normally listens to you up until like 7:30 or so our time.
Okay.
And then she leaves, because somebody got to bring home the bacon.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are a good team. And again, I caution my Vincentian people, do not bring any packages at all for anybody. Not for $5,000, not for $10,000. Because our prison is I'm telling you, it's a luxurious prison. Really, really like 5-star prison. But we will keep you here. Have a great day, ladies.
Right. Have a good one too, Joshua. All right. So yes, I would touch on something that Joshua said in a bit, but again, just good morning to everybody. Whatever it is that you're going to be up to today, I hope that you're going to get through quickly. Whatever it is that you're going to be up to, unless you're relaxing. Because when you're relaxing, you really and truly want for the time to go very slowly, right? But for those of you who might be on vacation, who are heading to some spots in the Grenadines, big up you, all right? A jealous bad, big up you. But that's what life is about, folks. We have to find a balance between work and fun time. And for those of you who are currently on fun time, good for you. All right, morning, Dianna.
Me jealous them, so I give them no big up.
Bad mind and grudgeful.
Good morning, everybody. Let's hope that you are having a great day. Why? Of course, because you're tuned into WEFM. I mean, we're here, Roleza and I, we're here to bring the vibes. As usual, for those of you that are stuck in traffic, well, remember that you're not stuck in traffic. You are traffic. All right.
You are traffic?
Yeah, because I mean, when you drive, you usually say, oh my, I'm stuck in traffic. But you are the one creating the traffic.
Oh,
there'd be no traffic without you.
That's an interesting way to think of it, Dianna. That took a lot of brain power this early in the morning. Oh, grief. All right. So Dianna is overworking her brain, and I'm trying to barely use mine this morning. All right, how it go? Good morning to the persons on the live. Good morning to troublesome Asman. All right,
good friend.
My good friend. All right. Just a few things. Something that Joshua said this morning. Now, in relation to the news article that I read, how it is that I interpreted it was, so there were cruise ship passengers, and they had with them, they imported cannabis, and they had other things, other paraphernalia, right? So packages containing cannabis and synthetic opioid, fentanyl, vape pens, and some gummies, right? That's what they had with them on the cruise ship. One of the interesting things that I tend to find is that persons, not so much directly in relation to them, because they had these on the cruise ship, so maybe they thought that they would not get caught, but they got caught, right? And who knows, maybe they were also supplying while they were on the cruise ship, so this is why they probably got caught. But it's one of the interesting things that I tend to find with visitors to the Caribbean. And I remember looking at this show called Locked Up Abroad once. And this, I think she was an American tourist, went to Jamaica, and she's openly out on the street asking people where to find weed. Right? Because they are of the opinion that because we are in the Caribbean, is open season, right? You could just go and buy weed by the pound, not by how much ever. Yes, we could smoke the spliff. You won't be charged for smoking the spliff, but many persons internationally think that, it's a free smoke-filled environment that we're living in, right? When the reality of the situation isn't that way. We still do have laws against, not so much just the smoking, but it's in the possession as well as trafficking, right? So for persons overseas, I always have to chuckle of the way in which they view us here in the Caribbean when it comes to marijuana in particular. All righty. Just a note for persons who love to play lotto. Lotto is like $800 and something $1,000. So I just helping y'all out. Now remember, you have to be in it to win it. Now I ain't saying to go and buy 100 tickets, but if God means for you to win with that one ticket, then you can win with that one ticket. All right. So remember, let's encourage supporting sports and culture, education as well, and sometimes health. Okay. So just a little plug there, right? You know, we might be praying and we might be asking for assistance, but these are the ways that God will assist us. You know, funny though, I had a friend who once won lotto, and he said it's like one of the worst things that, in a sense, at the time that it happened, it's like one of the worst things that happened to him, because his image was out there, and he was there saying that is when you find people who you never know coming forward to befriend you, right? So who in want assistance with this and assistance with that, you know, they coming forward. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I would ever turn away winning a lottery, but I sometimes think that when it comes to like really big jackpots, or maybe even sometimes smaller jackpots, that you should have the option of like your full name not being disclosed, right? So that you don't end up having people coming to ask, or, well, I'm even studying if you're like even ducking people and paying money, but just people coming forward and knowing who you are, right?
Somebody like they want to pull you up.
Oh. Woo-hoo. All right. Yeah, but anyhow, right? So if you are one of those persons who plays the lotto, right? The Super 6 today is $800 and something $1,000. All right. So yeah. All right. Let's quickly get into this other topic. No? Okay. All right. So we just want to very quickly touch on a topic that we came across in Eyewitness News, and I kind of wonder how prevalent is it in SVG, right? So South Rivers residents want sheep moved from neighbors' backyard. So South Rivers household is hoping that an appeal via the media would spur health authorities to act on their complaints about a neighbor who was seen rearing sheep in their yard for years, all right? So they said they tried to get the health department on numerous occasions. I think that they came and they visits, etc. Right? You can read that full article on Eyewitness News. But in the interest of time, I'm just kind of curious as to how prevalent is this issue. There are times when I wonder of how inconsiderate can some residents also be, right? Because whatever issues are affecting the neighbors, it must also be affecting you. The smell coming from an animal farm, right? Or the scent coming from an animal farm, it's not just going to, unless the wind is only blowing the scent in other people's direction, you too are going to be affected. And there are many times when I wonder if people don't know about the rules that relate to living in residential areas. Many persons buy property and they think because I own it, I can do what I want with the property. But there are rules there are rules when it comes to living in a residential area and what can be done within these communities, right? And I just think that far too often we hear of these complaints. Now, this is making its way to the media, but there are many persons going through similar situations in different communities and different villages who may not necessarily come forward to the media, but it's just something that is there of interest to me.
You know, for some of these persons, some of them aren't aware of the rules as it relates to living in those areas. Some of them are aware that such a thing exists, but they bear of the mentality that, hey, in SVG, laws are just there, they're not enforced, so I could just do it. Because, I mean, sometimes you definitely do see it, right? You have a law against something and persons will be doing it continually. You'll be making reports and nothing is happening. So that just allows others to think, oh, well, I mean, policing and do nothing. I could get away with this, as you've seen others do. So they just continue with it.
There's another thing that I look at in terms of there's so much land. We have a lot of unused land here in SVG. Now, I believe in some instances, the lands have owners. So, sometimes I wonder for persons who want to rear animals, if they can't possibly, let's say, ask around and lease these properties for this particular purpose away from residential areas, right? But of course, have proper legal documents so that the person don't turn around and say later on that they own the property because they've been on it for a certain amount of years, that they have claims to it, right? Have proper legal documents. But there are plenty areas within SVG that it's just vast unused lands, and in some cases, these can be utilized. But then again, I know there's also another issue of predial larceny that comes into play in this whole discussion. But we're going to have to end here at this time, as it is quickly approaching 7:35, and we need to bring to you today's traffic talk.